Deshaun Watson has officially requested a trade from the Texans per league sources. Now, let's just start with this. This doesn't happen. You sign in the NFL after your contract, they extend you, then you're franchise tagged. You don't get 25-year-old star quarterbacks on the market. This does not happen. Ever. The last, quote, star quarterback on the market was Kirk Cousins. All right? In the history of the NFL, this doesn't happen. He wants out. So now, that's the first thing. This is unbelievable. The second thing is this. He's got a no-trade clause. He has to approve it. So let's just not make up crazy scenarios. He's not going where he doesn't want to go. There are 8 teams that will be at least talking about it. I'm not going to count the Colts because the Texans are not going to trade him in division and play him twice a year. I'm not counting them. And I'm not counting the Saints, who are $100 million over the cap, so they can't sign an expensive quarterback. Okay, just take them out. Here's the 8. Jets, Miami, New England, Carolina, 49ers, Washington, and Chicago. Now, I'm going to put them in order. As if I'm Deshaun Watson. I'm not saying the team that has the picks that can make it work. I'm Deshaun Watson. What would I choose based on a variety of factors? Number 1 would be San Francisco by a mile. Okay, they are, without Deshaun Watson, a top 5 Super Bowl favorite next year. They just had bad injuries. They lost their quarterback. They are stacked, and they're not real happy with Jimmy Garoppolo. So in terms of, I just want to go to a team that can win, they got everything. They are, and after San Francisco, the next 7 I'm going to list, there's a but. I'm Deshaun Watson. I'd go Miami second. Why? I got a really good defense and a really good coach. But they are rebuilding their offensive line. But I don't love their ownership group. Number 3 would be New England. Best football coach ever. Above average defense. Offensive line talent's not bad at all. But they have no weapons. And that division's getting better. They got no weapons. They got no tight ends. They got no wide receivers. They have no star backs. Number 4 would be Washington. But don't love the owner. A lot of dysfunction. You get a great defense. Bunch of first-round picks up front. You got a really good young receiver. And you get a grown-up, an adult, Ron Rivera, who's got a long contract. So he's going to be there a while. That gives me coaching stability. Number 5, and then it gets interesting. Denver is interesting. I really like their young tight end. I really like their young receivers. They've got some really interesting pieces on this roster. I really like them. But Vic Fangio's in his 60s. He's probably an 0-4 start from being fired. John Elway is no longer the GM. They've hired a new guy. But I do like their wide receiving weapon talent. Number 6, I'd go Chicago. Love their defense. Love the city. But the GM and the coach are on the hot seat. They could both be gone by Thanksgiving. I don't like that instability. I get to face Aaron Rodgers twice a year. Be good for my PR, my billboard campaigns. I mean, let's face it, twice a year I'm in the biggest NFL game of the weekend. That'd be awesome for my marketing, my PR. Number 7, Carolina. I really like their coach, and they got some nice weapons. But they're in a total rebuild. You're going to be in shootouts almost every week. Christian McCaffrey, sensational. I really like their weapons. But it's a rebuild. It's a rebuild job. And we don't know if Matt Rule's great yet. I think he is, but I don't know he is. And then number 8, and this is why it's fantastic theater. The Jets have nothing I would want. I want a dependable head coach, ownership, and front office stability and weapons. Just don't have any of it. But of all the teams, this works best. They could give the Texans Sam Darnold. They could give the Texans Sam Darnold and the number 2 pick, so you get Zach Wilson. The Jets makes the most sense by a mile, and I think Deshaun would make it work. And Deshaun has said, I like Robert Saleh. But what is fascinating about this, the Jets are the worst choice, but they're the one organization that the Texans can call and get a future star quarterback, a bunch of first, second, and third round picks. I don't have to play him in division. I won't have to see him very often. In fact, I could get Sam Darnold for a year and a number 2 pick. And then when the number 2 pick's ready to play, I could trade Sam Darnold and get more picks. The Jets make the most sense by a mile, and I think it would be fascinating. But in terms of I'm Deshaun Watson and what I as a quarterback would want, Jets would be 8th. I mean, seriously, ownership do you trust? Front office do you know? Robert Saleh, who knows? Weapons bad, O-line bad. They have one workable running back. They got nothing. But my guess is this morning, the Jets are in the hunt very early for this. We got a 25-year-old star quarterback available to the market. That does not happen in the National Football League. It does not happen. It's crazy. The last star available was Kirk Cousins. All right, so yesterday I talked about something. I called it the mythology of talent. I always hear about talent. Oh, this guy's talented. That guy's talented. Do you win games? So according to a story, a third of NFL teams, 10, 11, have inquired about trading for Matt Stafford. Last 3 years, 14 and 33. But he's talented. So Deshaun Watson, who had a coach that got fired and a bad defense and a shaky O-line, last 3 years, 25-22, a division title and a playoff win. Carson Wentz, last 2 years, won a division. Coach got fired, no weapons, and bizarre injuries. Matt Stafford's gone 12 years. He's had 4 winning seasons. I'm not asking for the Super Bowl. I'm not asking for the NFC Championship. But 12 years, no division titles, no playoff wins? Yeah, I know he's talented, but even at Georgia, 9-4 1 year, 10-3. Andrew Luck went to Stanford with Stanford's talent. In his last 2 years, he was 23-3. Even when he had Georgia talent, he was losing 3 and 4 games a year. Andy Dalton made the playoffs 5 times. Andy Dalton has the Steelers and Ravens in his division. Mitch Trubisky in Matt's division has won it 2 of the last 3 years. And we don't know if he has the right coach, the right GM, or anything on offense. Sometimes you got to show me you can win. Andrew Luck had nothing. Nothing. When you tell me Matt Stafford had nothing. He went 11-5, 11-5, 11-5 AFC Championship. Deshaun Watson keeps winning games. He's had nothing but dysfunction. Even in his own division against the Bears and Vikings, let's take Aaron Rodgers out of it. Okay, so he can't beat Aaron Rodgers. Against the Bears and Vikings, he's 19-22. It reminds me, in the NBA, there's players like this. Everybody keeps telling me, I remember Tracy McGrady. Oh, my God, he's got so much talent. And Tracy's a nice guy. I've met him. Oh, my God, Tracy McGrady's got great talent. He never won a playoff series. Oh, Zach LaVine. Oh, my God, Zach LaVine. Oh, my. How come he's never on winning teams? Well, Colin, he doesn't have a lot to work with. Chris Paul wins everywhere. In a league of tall men, he's 6'2.5". Chris Paul wins everywhere. Chris Paul went to Oklahoma City. Joy and I watched. They were tanking. They were tanking. And they had nobody except Chris Paul. And they ended up what? Hottest team in the NBA the last month and a number 4 or 5 seed. In fact, they traded Chris Paul from Oklahoma City because he was screwing up their tanking. Then they traded him to a team that hasn't won in years, Phoenix. Now they're winning. Damian Lillard. Portland's not a hot free agent market. The second best player they have is a lesser version of Damian Lillard. He gets to the conference championship. Damian Lillard wins games. He doesn't have a hot free agent market. He doesn't have a dominating cohort. How the hell did they get to the playoffs last year? They had no wings. In the West, they had no wing defenders. But Chris Paul figures out ways to win. Deshaun wins. Went as much as we criticize him, wins. Damian Lillard wins. After a while, you got to give me more than talent. Because I'm the coach here. Everybody's going, that guy's got talent. That guy's got talent. That gets coaches fired. You got talent, gets coaches fired. Chris Paul just won. Damian Lillard wins. Deshaun Watson wins. Wentz, maybe fourth of those four. He was won a lot of games with a mess around him. I mean, think about this. Since Matt Stafford came into the NFC North, Mitch Trubisky's won a division twice. Case Keenum, Jay Cutler, and Teddy Bridgewater. 12 years, you got to give me one. Aaron Rodgers has been hurt twice. You got to give me one. I got nothing against Matt Stafford. I think he's talented. But boy, if a third of the league is after him, it shows you the mythology of talent. At some point, 12 years, got to start winning more games. All right, the Houston Texans have a new coach. Oh, boy.